You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Good to see you guys.
Are we doing this?
Oh, yeah. Kirk, wake up.
Is this the podcast?
Yes.
This is the podcast. I know.
You are live on air.
How did I get here?
Everything okay?
I have
Everything's great. How are you guys doing?
Just fine. Happy to be here.
so happy to be here.
Very happy to be here.
I don't know where we are in this liminal space of the podcast, but I'm glad to hear that we're all here.
Right.
Right.
Well,
this is
I
going
have
to come out after we record this, so we say everything's great, and then it comes out something like horrible is
my
going to
God.
happen
Let's
the
hope
day
not.
we release this, and we're like, it's a great day.
I'm knocking on wood.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You
I
said
have-
that
having a great
sirens
day.
literally went past my window, so we're doing great.
Great. Love that for you. What do you got for us, Victoria?
This week I have a new parasite for us. Yay!
Great. Yay. Yippee.
We're
going right into the
bad
parasites,
things
huh?
that
All
could
right.
be going. We're going right into parasite.
We're diving right into parasites.
Well, it's not
How
a
fun for
Excellent.
us.
it's not a
Love it.
parasite of humans.
Oh, well, then we don't care, do we?
I care. I care a lot.
Thanks, Rachel. You have a big heart.
Thanks. I'm excited. New things. We love discoveries. What is this?
Well, this week I'm talking about the Green Banded Broodsac. Ever heard of this?
What? No.
That
but what
sounds
a name.
Awful.
What a name. I'm imagining what this particular parasite parasitizes, I guess.
I don't
I
know.
had
think
here-
want to.
I had here written in my notes, what a name.
I still don't know if that's the name of the parasite or the thing that it parasitizes. This is
It
fascinating.
is the name of the parasite. If you'd like
I
it,
have
Okay,
tears. I have tears.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have lost Rachel. If you find her,
we're a little punchy
let us
right now,
know here at the podcast.
collectively. Okay. It's a little Latin to bring the hyperness of the show down here, depending on how well I can get this out. Leucochloridium paradoxum. Okay.
Jesus.
Impressive as you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any guesses as to what kind of parasite it is? Either the type of animal that the parasite is or the type of animal that it parasitizes.
I'm gonna go with a
Broodsac.
flatworm.
Wait, what did you say, Kirk?
Well, you mentioned broodsac.
Yeah, you said broodsac. Rachel, you said flatworm. Okay.
I'm going with a flatworm of
But-
some sort. There's a lot of
You
them.
want to know what it parasitizes or what kind of parasite it is?
Either.
Are you asking?
Either.
I'm going to say a parasite of birds.
Broodsac.
Okay.
But that's not.
Well,
that doesn't
I'm
make
Rachel-
gonna go.
sense. They
Is
don't
it
have-
a parasite of? Let's see, broodsac. That is it like a mammal or like a marsupial parasite?
Good guess. No, although you are correct that
Uh-huh.
it is a flatworm. Good
Yes.
job.
Oh, nice, Rachel.
There's so many that are parasites. It was
Yes.
like throwing a dart at a target
Swimming
ball.
pool.
A swimming pool. Yes, also works.
They are from a subgroup of flatworms called trematodes or flukes. Like if you've heard of a liver fluke, that's
Yeah.
from that
Gross.
group.
Oh,
Yeah.
awful.
They are internal parasites of other animals. That's what they do. And like many parasites, it has a complex life cycle, although less complex than many trematodes because typically trematodes require 3 different host species,
Yeah.
but the Green Banded Broodsac only uses 2. Its definitive...
Well, bully for it.
yeah, bully for it.
Yay.
Its definitive host species are land snails in the genus
Okay.
Succinea.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then the intermediate hosts are birds of various types.
Okay.
Okay, I said bird.
Okay. You said bird.
The snail gets infected by eating bird poop that has the parasite eggs in it.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
in the snail's gut, the egg hatches into the next stage of the trematode life cycle, which is called a miracidium. And it is very small. It is mobile. It has cilia, swims around. It's only made of about 10 cells.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's
It also
tiny.
it also has a stylet, which is a sharp, pointy thing that lets it penetrate the wall of the gut. And
There it is.
yeah, it heads toward the hepatopancreas, which is a digestive organ of the snail.
Mm-hmm.
And then this little 10-celled miracidium dissolves into what's called a germ cell that develops into the next stage, which is a sporocyst.
Fascinating.
So many different names. Okay, this is where things get really fun. The sporocyst looks sort of almost like a strange little plant, like a little ball of moss or lichen in the middle.
That makes sense. It's called the sporocyte.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with it.
And it has stalks coming out of various places.
Of course it does.
Okay.
And at the end of each stalk is a long tubular thing called a broodsac.
There it is.
There it
No,
is.
I don't like that. This sounds like something. This is weird sounding.
Yes.
Go on.
What?
That's why we're
Something
all
weird
here.
sounding
Oh, just
on
wait.
a podcast called Strange by Nature.
Who would have thought, right?
Oh man, keep going.
Well, these various brood sacs mature at different times, so each one is in a different stage of growth at any given moment. And a mature brood sac will push its way into one of the snail's tentacles, otherwise known as its eye stalk.
Oh.
Oh
Wait.
Oh, Victoria, I looked at this.
I've
Oh.
seen these. Yes, I know what this is.
Yes.
Oh, I looked. I just looked up pictures and things.
Oh, these are
this
so
is
cool.
They're
this
so
is really
creepy.
cool, but this looks horrifying. Oh, I
So,
hate that.
I didn't know what it was
Huh.
called. Yes, these are fascinating.
Oh
broods-
no.
The brood. If you look at a video, it's even more exciting.
Yeah.
There is the brood sac then commences pulsating 40 to 75 times per minute. And it is striped in this particular broodstock species in green, the pale green, and black. And it, in fact, greatly resembles a caterpillar.
Yep.
Yep.
It's so cool.
And
It's really cool. Unfortunate for the snail.
yes.
It like turns the snail for I think how I would describe it for those who are just using their brain and listening. It like turns the snail's antenna into large, pulsating, colorful, psychedelic
Caterpillars.
caterpillars.
So picture like
It's
a monarch
crazy.
caterpillar that is just like green, and it goes from one end of the eye stalk across the middle part where the eye stalks connect into the other one, and it's like pulsating like it's at a disco.
No,
or
it
a
actually
rave.
doesn't. One brood sac doesn't go into both eye stalks. Each
It
one can
doesn't?
have a separate one, but it sort of goes into the body. Yeah.
Oh, that's worse.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it
So
looks
that-
really cool, but oh no.
the pulsation resembles like the way a caterpillar kind of undulates as
Yeah.
it moves.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what likes to eat caterpillars?
Birds.
Birds. That's right.
Yep.
They'll swallow either the whole snail or else they will sometimes peck and tear out the brood sac from the snail's tentacle and eat that. So it is
I
technically...
mean, is that better or worse?
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
technically possible for the snail to survive if that happens.
Okay.
Although presumably there's just another brood sac waiting to fill the tentacle if it heals
Yeah.
somehow. And as we just mentioned, either one or both tentacles can be occupied by separate brood sacs. This parasite also affects the snail's behavior.
Of course it does.
Yes.
Why wouldn't it?
It does. It
That's
leads
why I
it,
know
to,
about it.
to spend more time out in open exposed areas. They're likely to climb higher up in the vegetation and to stay in better lit areas than non-infected snails, where, of course, they're more likely to be spotted by birds. Sort of reminds me of summit disease, which you covered on the show, Kirk, with that fungus that infects grasshoppers.
Well, I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
I think there's ants.
We've done it a couple
Ants,
times.
And then
Yeah.
toxoplasma.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the reason I know about that, and part of the reason I know about this, is once again, this is a species that I've literally talked about before with kids in my zombie summer camp.
There it is.
Because of the behavioral, something taking over your body and changing your behavior, which is zombie behavior. So
It is.
I've shown this video to kids,
Of course you have.
but the name didn't ring a bell. So
Yeah. Yes. So interestingly, the pulsations of the broodsac stop when it's dark out. I guess why waste energy if nobody can see you?
oh my gosh,
Makes
that's
sense, I
super
guess,
cool.
but
Yeah.
really cool.
Also, occasionally the broodsacs will burst from the tentacles on their own. Oh.
I saw a picture of that and it.
Yeah, they will
like
continue
a
to pulsate for about
Aliens
an
moment,
hour,
you know?
so they can still be picked up and eaten and be infectious for a while. Whoa.
Yeah, it looks real gross. Yeah.
Watch the videos. It's like a combination. It's a little gross, but it's more, I think, sort of fascinating and wild looking than gross.
Yeah. I think the other thing that we should note with this too is like the reason why they're able to be like this color and everything is a snail's skin is not very thick. It tends to be pretty thin and maybe translucent and things. So this makes it pretty visible.
Yes, good point, Rachel.
And-
Thank you.
Wild.
So the broodsac, of course, is filled with the next complicated life cycle stage, metacercariae, which are released into the bird's gut when it eats the broodsac, and then they attach to usually the inside of the cloaca and morph into the adult stage. They have little suckers on their belly to hold on. Yeah.
Come on.
But I don't think it, from what I can tell, it doesn't really harm the bird to speak of. They just
harms the snail.
Yeah, they mate
Yay.
and then they release eggs into the bird's poop. And then
Yep.
the cycle starts all over again.
Circle of life.
That's right.
No. This is the circle of parasitism, Kirk.
Parasites are alive, Rachel.
Yes. They're a large majority of the species, I don't know if that's actually true, but a lot of species on Earth are parasites.
Yeah.
I said majority. I was pulling that out of nowhere. Who knows? Probably
I've done
somebody,
that.
not me. My sources this week were an article from Gideon Online, Zombie Snails Brain Hijacking Parasites and Mind Control in Nature, and also some background information from Wikipedia.
This happens way more than I thought it did in nature.
Yeah. It's quite common, actually. We are going to take a break, a little palate cleanser, and Kirk will have something for us.
Mine does not involve a parasite.
Great.
Hey everyone, we are back. This week on the show, I want to talk. No obfuscation. We're jumping right into it here. We want to talk about the new Caledonian Crows.
Oh.
I have wanted to talk about these guys for years now, for so
Guys
many
are
reasons.
Smart cookies.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are completely fascinating birds. New Caledonian Crows are found in New Caledonia. So
Which remind folks where
where's
that is?
you ask? New Caledonia is a group of islands that were named by Captain Cook in 1774. The mountains on the largest island reminded him of Old Caledonia, aka Scotland. So this is basically New Scotland, and it's near New Zealand. The islands are located east of Australia and northwest of New Zealand. They're basically halfway between Australia and Fiji. If you were to draw a line from Australia to Fiji, you'd pretty much go through New Caledonia. New Caledonian crows are mostly found on the mountains of the large island that's creatively named Grande Terre, or Big Land. Yeah. kind of ran out of good names there, I guess. So, what's so exciting about New Caledonian crows and why scientists just love studying them is that they are amongst the most sophisticated non-human tool users known to science, which is what Rachel is glaring at me. They are birds that use tools. Rachel.
Yes. I am not going to talk about it this week, but I recently stumbled across something about tool using animal, and that's why I was like, what are you talking about?
Hopefully you hear about it soon. I'm talking about New Caledonian crows.
Great.
So New Caledonian crows, they like I said, they do make tools, and they make them from the long, narrow leaves of the pandanus trees, which are also known as screw pines. These trees grow leaves in whorls, and those whorls can either be clockwise or counterclockwise. And the crows cut these tapered strips from either the left or right edge of a leaf to create like functional tools that they can use to stick into holes in trees and different plants and stuff to extract invertebrates from various kinds of rainforest vegetation.
Cool.
And it's very cool. But these abilities actually have been documented for decades. That's not like a new thing. But a landmark paper in 2001 in the journal Nature revealed something even more remarkable. It's not going to sound remarkable at first, but they show that these birds show population level laterality.
What does that mean?
Ooh, right? What does that mean? No one knows that word.
What's that?
Right. Okay. So it is very cool, but you got to bear with me. Laterality is an animal's consistent preference for one side of their body. In humans, we have hands, so we call this handedness. But when we're being more general, we don't say handedness. We call it laterality. Okay?
Okay,
So,
yeah.
New Caledonian crows are well known for their tool making, but this study showed that they have a preference for making tools in a right-handed manner.
Oh my.
Interesting.
So how do they figure this out?
Yeah, because they don't have, I guess, are they using one foot?
And beaks? We'll talk about it. Researcher Gavin Hunt of the University of Auckland and his colleagues analyzed the leaves that were left over from the production of, get ready for this, 3,700 crow tools.
Oh my gosh.
That's so many.
Which is a remarkable sample size for any kind of research.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah, wow.
We love large sample sizes.
Yeah. Hunt and his colleagues found that the birds prefer working on the left edge of a leaf instead of the right. Now, remember what I said. The leaves come in both a clockwise and counterclockwise versions.
Yeah.
So it seems that on the clockwise growing leaves, the birds can more easily work their preferred left side of the leaf just because of how they're shaped.
Okay.
And he found that in these clockwise leaf samples, the crows had worked about 1,500 left edges and only worked the right-hand edge 400 times. So a huge preference for that left edge. And this makes sense as the left-hand side of the leaf is the easiest for the crows to access and work. However, and this is really interesting, when it came to leaves growing on the counterclockwise trees, the right edges are actually the more easily accessible side of the leaf for the bird.
Yeah.
And despite the left edge being harder to work on these counterclockwise leaves, the crows had worked the left edges on about 950 leaves and the right edges on only 900. So even though it was more difficult, they still preferred the left-hand edge of the leaves on those counterclockwise ones. Now, if you're paying attention, you may have noticed that I said the crows have a right-handedness preference, but they keep working the left side of the leaf. And that's because to work the left side of the leaf, you have to use your right eye to look at the leaf and then use the right-hand side of your beak to do the snipping and shaping of the leaf.
Okay.
So this study was a really big deal when it came out in 2001. This was the first ever species-level laterality demonstration in non-humans. Cool. No other animal has been seen that does this aside from humans. And appropriately, the study was simply called Laterality and Tool Manufactured by Crows, if you want to look it up.
Cool.
So an interesting question here, though, that I think we need to think about is, We need to ask whether this is actually an innate preference of the crows, like handedness is in humans, or is this just a reaction to their environment? We see that they greatly prefer the clockwise leaves, but are there like naturally more clockwise leaves compared to counterclockwise leaves? Because if so, then they're just used to working the left edge because it's more common. And then when they find counterclockwise leaves, maybe they just keep working the left edge, even though it's harder, because it's what they're used to, right? So in other words, maybe this is a learned behavior and not an innate preference.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Well, it turns out, no. They looked into that. There's equal numbers of clockwise and counterclockwise leaves and trees out there. So they really are actually seeking out the clockwise trees to make the leaves because they are easier for them to work on because they are essentially right-handed. And the counterclockwise ones, when they do find those, they're like, okay, fine, I'll use this, but I'm going to do it the less easy way because it's sort of like, if someone handed you something, to do and you're right-handed or you're left-handed, right? Even if doing it with your right hand, using those right-handed scissors might technically be easier, it's harder for you because like your brain just doesn't work that way. Yeah, exactly. There is another option other than ecological factors. There could be social factors. We know that these animals are very social. We know that we have seen these crows teach other crows how to do things. We've seen them learn things by watching other crows. So maybe this is just a behavior that is learned, and the crows that simply learned to do it did it right in a right-handed way, and that was passed on. The researchers think this is also unlikely as they saw the same behavior the entire length of the island and the mountain ranges. And even on another island where these same crows are. And these birds are all from distinct social groups that don't really interact. So this does seem to be an innate behavior and not a learned one, which makes it super cool. Furthermore, some further studies were done on individual crows, so not like a population, but it's on an individual crow, and they've shown that the handedness preference is on an individual level, just like it is in humans. So studies from the Behavioral Ecology Research Group have shown that individual crows have a preferred way of holding tools, so not just making them, but actually holding tools and using them as well. So there's also laterality in both tool creation and in tool use on not just the population level, but also the individual level.
Yeah.
And this is just
that is cool.
Very cool. So that's what I wanted to talk about this week. There's actually a whole bunch more to talk about when it comes to tool use by New Caledonian Crows, because researchers have done a whole bunch of fascinating experiments with them, but I'll save those for another week sometime later. Most of this week, I just wanted to present you with the only other species on Earth that has been shown to have handedness. Not even chimpanzees have handedness. So this is really remarkable that so far it's just us and New Caledonian Crows. We may find something else, but this is the ones we know about. My sources this week were the journal Nature, Science News, and the Behavioral Ecology Research Group.
Awesome. Thanks, Kirk.
Nice.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll have Rachel. This week's episode is brought to you by the Society of Strange. That's what we call our patrons over at patreon.com/strangebynature. Society members directly support the show they love, and depending on their level of support, get fun perks such as bonus content on select shows, insider photos, water bottle stickers, and here's a big one, every level of support gets every episode 100% ad-free. Come join the other lovers of the show, help keep this strange show going, and get those ad-free episodes. We'll see you all over at patreon.com/strangebynature.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. When I think about moles, there are a few things. I'm also not talking about parasites this week. I'm just going to straight out just say that.
Get that out of the way.
Get that out of the way. Partially because of where we live and work, I tend to think about the North American version of the mole. These moles tend to be semi-aquatic in some ways. They burrow underneath the ground. They have really pink little noses, not great eyesight. We're not talking about those, though, today.
Oh, Okay.
We're
Take
talking
that right out of my
about
head.
moles.
Okay.
And specifically, we're talking about golden moles, which are not actually related to the North American moles. They're actually closer related to otter shrews and tenrecs.
I don't.
Okay, Tenrecs we've talked about on the show.
Okay,
We've
yeah, I'm
talked
not
about
sure I've heard of an
tenrecs.
otter shrew.
So this is an
Yeah.
animal that is called a mole, but it's actually something else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I will tell you, this is extremely convergent evolution because
Okay, I was gonna
they
say, yeah.
look like moles. Okay, so these are golden moles. These
Fascinating.
are native and endemic to sub-Saharan Africa, so below the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
There are 21
sense.
different species of these moles, and they look like they sound. They are little burrowing mammals. They have short legs, digging claws, super dense fur, toughened skin, very, very non-functional, tiny eyes.
Okay.
Same
Sound
with
kinda cute.
external ears. They're pretty cute. Yeah.
Okay.
So, in general, then they're not very big. Also, they range in size from 3.1 inches to 7.9 inches, depending on the
Okay,
species.
it's quite a range. Yeah.
In science and metric, that's 8 centimeters to 20 centimeters. They have all 5 toes. They look a lot like moles, but again, they're not. Now, why am I talking
Okay.
about this?
That's
right?
what I was wondering.
Okay.
Figured, right? Like, why else would I talk about these? These little moles, these golden moles, they're called this because they have a variety of the colors when it comes to like their fur, but often they have some sort of iridescent sheen to them,
Ooh.
Cool.
which is pretty cool depending on the light, and it can be a sheen of green, of blue, or violet, or
What?
even
What?
copper.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Depending when it's viewed in different lights, which is really fun. But one of the reasons why I'm talking about it today is there is this one particular species of golden moles that we thought didn't exist. So when I was talking about moles, I mostly was talking about moles in dirt. But there is one species of golden mole, the De Winton's golden mole, that swims in sand.
Oh.
They
They
swim
swim?
in sand?
They officially call it swimming in sand. So pretty much they go through the sand dunes and in like South Africa, and they, instead of burrowing through dirt, they're going through the sand dunes. So because it's
Okay.
sand, they can't actually like make a true tunnel. But they can
all right.
like
So,
go through.
yeah.
So they're calling it swimming through sand.
Okay.
That's fun.
Okay.
Sort
allow
of
it.
like the sandworms on Dune.
Exactly.
On Arrakis?
Think that.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing is we hadn't seen these guys, like physically seen them, since 1937.
Oh.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, so we haven't physically seen them, and we're just like, are
They're
they
hiding under the
around?
sand.
We don't
Yeah.
know. They're hiding in the sand, which actually makes it really hard to be able to find them because they're not leaving traceable tunnels for us to be able to like look at and be able to test and be able to watch, because the sand will fall right back in to that
Yeah,
space
yeah.
and makes it harder for us
They
to be
leave
able
no
to,
trace.
quite literally. So in 2023, in order to really figure out if they were still around, some scientists from the Endangered Wildlife Trust, Stellenbosch University, and University of Pretoria,
Okay.
you went through and they they tested the sand and found environmental DNA that shows that the
Interesting.
golden moles are still there.
Cool.
It is
Was
absolutely
it mostly
wild.
poop, or what did we find in here, Rachel?
So, to give you a little bit of context, these moles are mostly eating insects. So they don't really need to go above ground to do that. They're searching and finding insects underneath the sand, as well as like just looking for food all over. So they don't really need to spend any time above the sand to get their food source. So
Right.
that is just one of the pieces why it was so hard for them to be able to find. So, and like they were considering this species lost. They weren't considering it extinct. When it hasn't, so for a context, lost species is something that hasn't been seen or detected for at least 10 years. Extinct, if it's not been found for more than a generation of that species' lifetime, despite big species. So it was actually presumed extinct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds. I'm
but
guessing
it
they
was,
don't live that long.
Yeah, they don't live long, but no really comprehensive searches have taken place, so it was also kind of lost.
That's
so yeah, they were kind of like, what do we do? So what ended up happening is there is a sister species of the golden mole, of this endangered species that is very similar, and tested out to see if those techniques would work. What they ended up doing was they they surveyed a bunch of different sites of dunes along 300 kilometers of coastline.
Whoa. Okay.
And they did this on foot for a week, exploring 18 kilometers of dune habitat every single day. And they tested a dog, actually, to be able to help with this.
Like a sniffer dog?
Like, it was a border collie named Jessie. And it wasn't a sniffer, but she wasn't trained to sniff out. She had been trained to sniff out other golden moles, and she would indicate if she picked up any of the smell of the more common species. So I guess they did find some of the tunnels, and the dog didn't seem interested because it was trained on the other species. So it's like, I don't know what this is. So I'm
they're
not
kind
going
of
to do
ruling
it.
Using the
They're
dog to
ruling
rule
it
it out
out.
rather than find it. Fascinating.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they were able to use the dog to be able to find some entrances of tunnels and things. And they collected 100 soil samples, or sand and soil, and from the insides of those tunnels that they were finding. And they literally took that environmental DNA and sequenced it based on a reference sequence which had been generated because of a museum specimen that was in a museum of natural history.
The importance of museum specimens.
And they were able to like compare it and be like, yes, this is the same species. So
very cool.
They collected over 100 species over 100 samples to be able to figure out, is this species still around? And because of that, they were able to figure out not only is this animal still around, but based on the activity they were seeing, as well as the suspected or like detected activity and presence at other sites.
Right.
They can't figure out the size of the population, but it seems like at the sites that they were seeing, or where they were at, they did actually not only potentially find healthy populations, but because they were there and doing these extensive surveys and they were with a dog, they did see one golden mole.
They actually saw one.
They saw one.
That's awesome.
And were able to, they were actually able to take a picture as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Did the dog catch it or what?
The dog did not catch it. Thank
And
God.
they did not collect it for science.
They did not collect it for science. They just left it there. But it's a really cool story that shows that not only have we come really far in our use of DNA and environmental DNA and everything that it can tell us about species that are out there and whether or not this is groundbreaking to be able to help discover species that maybe are still there, but we haven't been able to find any evidence for.
Right. Yeah. It's a cool technique.
Or animals that are super duper shy. It's a really interesting technique, and it really kind of went under the radar, I feel. Well, to be fair, other things were happening around that time because they did do this in the official surveying of all of this was happening in 2020. So that's fair. And in July 2021.
We were all doing something around then.
Something was happening around then. Anyway.
Good time to be doing some outdoor research.
Absolutely. Perhaps. So it's just a really interesting that they were able to use all of this, how far we've come with environmental DNA and with DNA sequencing in general, and being able to use museum, what's it? I forget the word. Specimen. Being able to use a museum specimen to be able to track down seeing if an actual species is still around is really cool. I got a lot of that is what I have for you all this week. This was originally published in 2022, 2023. Originally it was published in The Conversation, but I got a lot of my information from Scientific American as well as some background information from Wikipedia.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all that we have this week. So next week. Next week.
Next week. Oh my gosh, yes.
I can't believe it. Next week.
You know what's coming up?
It's our anniversary episode.
Anniversary show.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Friend of the show, Brett, is going to be here.
We're going to be probably playing some Eat Right Jacket.
Eat Right Jacket.
And all kinds of weird questions that he's going to come out. You never know what's going to happen when Brett is on the show. It's a wild card.
It really is. So that's next week. So we'll see you all next week for that.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Gonna be fun.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
See you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.